It's day 3 of the joint conference hosted by Speech Pathology Australia and the New Zealand Speech Language Association. This morning we've been lucky enough to catch up with one of the new directors on the Speech Pathology Australia Board of Directors, Eddie Ong. Eddie, welcome to the joint conference.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Michael.
Congratulations on your election to the Board of Directors. Can you give us an idea of what motivated you to join the board?
I'm glad to be and very honoured to be offered a casual vacancy, the 12-month casual vacancy on the board. So I guess I've come to the board through my association with the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Advisory Committee. So I'm hoping that through the work that I do with the board, I'm obviously going to be learning heaps, but I'm hoping to contribute lots from my different perspectives, I guess, as a male within speech pathology, within my work in education and educational perspective, and also as a Torres Strait Islander, hopefully giving an Indigenous perspective to the work of the board and the association.
Eddie, just on that, you're one of a very few number of Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander members of the association, and on Monday the association made a formal apology to Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islanders. Can you tell us, as a member, what that means to you and why the apology was so important?
Yeah, it was a very moving first opening, and I know I got a lot of feedback from other people around that morning presentation and how significant it was. The value of not the value, but I guess the way that it linked in with National Reconciliation Week was really good this year. So I think the apology statement, for me, it's an acknowledgement from our association that there have been some things in the way that we've worked and practiced in the past that have disadvantaged Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. So the apology is that recognition, and I guess makes a commitment in terms of what will we do to go forward. I'm proud to be part of the team that looked at the Reconciliation Action Plan, because I think what that's looking at is the positive proactive steps that the association is taking in terms of redressing some of those inadequacies in terms of past practice and ways that we can move forward and encourage other people with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander backgrounds to become part of the profession, but also supporting those people in the association to practice in a culturally safe and responsive way.
And talking about practice, Eddie, what part of the speech pathology profession do you actually work in?
So I originally trained as a speech pathologist in Queensland. So my background has been in paediatrics and working with students with severe communication impairment. So doing a lot of work in terms of augmentative and alternative communication. And I've done most of my work within the education sector here in Queensland. I bring a different perspective too, I guess, because around about the time when my kids were small, I decided to train as a teacher. And I actually did take the plunge from speech pathology into teaching. And that allowed me to spend time with kids during school holiday time. So it's been an advantage having both qualifications, particularly working within the education sector. And I've used it, I continue to use my speech pathology background and skills in that sector, particularly working with kids with disabilities, which is the area that I'm still working in. Up until 3 years ago, I was doing some private practice work on a Saturday. But working full time within the school setting, and so it wasn't really sustainable. But I've always kept up my membership, and I'm glad to continue my association with Speech Pathology Australia.
Eddie, that's excellent. So let's finish off with a few quick questions to find out about who Eddie Ong really is. Okay. So we're going to do 60 seconds with Eddie. So let's get underway. Speech pathology or speech therapy?
Speech therapy.
Yothu Yindi or Midnight Oil?
Oh, Yothu Yindi.
Who would play you in a movie?
Eddie Murphy.
4 times 2 plus 10?
English is my forte.
Is Russell Crowe an Aussie or a Kiwi?
Depends on whether he's doing anything inappropriate or not. So if he's inappropriate, he's Kiwi. If he's doing something appropriate, he's an Aussie.
Is there a Santa Claus?
For any kids that are watching, yes, there is.
Summer or winter?
I'm a summer boy.
What's the best book you've ever read?
Oh, God. I'll have to pass on that. That one stumped me.
Wellington or Canberra?
Canberra.
Kangaroo or Kiwi?
Kangaroo.
Paris or New York?
Ooh, New York.
Is the Lamington an Aussie invention or a Kiwi invention?
I'd have to say Aussie.
That's a good answer, and we'll finish there. Eddie Ong, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you. Queenslander, by the way. State of origin tonight. Thank you.